Hello, welcome. You are watching WOLFpak Live. I'm your host, Wendy Fortino, and I am particularly excited about this one today. We have such a fun guest. You are all in for a treat. I'm going to introduce him first, and then we're just going to get right into it. We have let's see. There's so many ways I can introduce you, but I'm going to say we have Billy Gunn. He is Mr. Ass.
Yes. It's okay, you can say it. You're allowed to say those words on this.
Okay, I know. I'm like, I don't know why. But he has done a lot. He was a bull rider to start with, and then he went on to be a star on WWF, WWE. He is currently fighting for AEW. I say fighting, wrestling. And he's an 11-time tag team champion with multiple different partners. Honestly, I don't even know where to begin with you. There's just so much that you have done, and you continue going strong here. And I can say your age because you say it, but you are 60 years old, and I just look like you're in your 30s. So it's just nuts. Yeah. But Billy, how are you doing?
I am awesome. I'm excited to do this. This is a lot of fun. I've been looking forward to this since we connected. I thought this would be awesome. I've done a lot of stuff, and I don't really ever think about it until people bring it up, and then I go to myself, I did all that. I did all that. So yeah.
I want to show like a little mini video that's going to refresh you, get our viewers to kind of get warmed up into what we're going to talk about. So let's get the energy going. Okay. Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I bring to you the original badass in the World Wrestling Federation, Badass Billy Gunn. And now let's learn a little bit about respect. Play with everything, you play with fire.
It's the shorts for me.
Yeah. There's a funny story behind this shorts.
I can't wait to hear it. Yes.
This will be I'll just doing some stuff before.
Oh, this is 172 pounds. Billy.
Those are my kids. Kids. Colten's on the right, Austin's on the left, and Anderson's on the right.
That's the move. That's the move. This is the craziest move ever.
The greatness of Billy Gunn, and Road Dogg goes down low now with a low blow, and there's the famous. Look out! Elevation!
In the ring right there. Bam.
Oh my God.
Boy, and there you have Billy Gunn's greatest hits.
Greatest hits. We gotta start with the greatest hits. Okay. Wow. So yes.
So you're all over the place right now, right? You're just got your brains going up. Like, what do you do? How do you start this count? What do you do? So, being as I will tell you my story about the shorts.
Okay.
So, when I had that blue attire on, it was like the beginning of me, the New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg and myself. And then I got out of that and put like shorts on, but like I didn't have any pattern. I didn't know what to do with the pattern. Like it just seemed like everybody had all the good stuff. And then my seamstress, not mine, but the company's seamstress, Terry Anderson, she goes, what if I kiss a piece of paper and then we put lips all over your shorts? And I went, bingo. So all the lips you see on my shorts are actually my seamstress, Terry Anderson's lips. So, and I loved it, and I thought it was brilliant because it was just something different, and it was that kind of attitude that we were doing at the time that kind of got the short.
Okay.
The story behind my shorts. Yeah.
Okay, dare I ask this question? This is probably the simplest answer, and I'm sure that you've answered this so many times. But how did you get, like, where did the name come from? Because it's probably the simplest answer.
It isn't.
Oh, okay.
So it isn't simple, but it's not that hard either.
Okay.
So Road Dogg, my partner, the guy that you saw in there when I was tagged with him, he always had the mic as we came out, and did his thing, and he was always talking and just come up with different things to say. Well, for one reason or another, I have no idea why, he was mad. He was like, and he never gets mad, which is the funniest part, is he never really gets mad. So what he came out, and the first thing he said, you will not call him that. You will call him Mr. Ass. You will call me Mr. Dog. And then just went on about this spiel. That was one night on Raw. The very next night on Raw, or the very next week on Raw, there was Mr. Ass signs from one end of the build. I'm not kidding you. It was loaded. Like that. The beauty about wrestling is you never know what's going to work.
Yeah.
That's always when I teach kids or when I'm teaching, I just tell them, you can't be afraid to put yourself out there and just do things, because it was like now forever, the rest of my entire life, people always ask me, are you still Mr. Ass? Yeah, I'll always be that. So he has signatured me with that for the rest of my career. So yeah, it wasn't anything big. It was just something simple that people latch on to stuff super quick. When they hear something, they like to latch on and go, okay, I'm in. And then that's it. And then they make a song about it.
Okay. You know what really fascinates me about this is because I've interviewed other people who identify with that part of their life. Like I interviewed Lori Frederick, who is Ice on Gladiators, and she is Ice for life, right?
Right.
It's like that part of your life. It's so crazy because there's so much that happens in establishing just who you are, just how people identify you. And it really can't ever totally go away. So there's interesting, for me, the thing that fascinates me is the psychology behind, there's this period of your life where you have all this fame, all this tension, all these people, and you're really kind of molding and evolving by like seeing what works, what people love. And this is the version of you that you really found that moment, right?
Yeah, and plus it was during the Attitude Era, which in wrestling was only, people don't realize it was only about 3 or 4 years. It was a very in time, it was a very short period, but it was such a major time. So when anything that you did in that time, people have a tendency to just hang on to it and just because it was insane. Like it was the greatest time, because I had started before that and then got lucky enough to have something that hit super hard. Was first the New Age Outlaws, then the Degeneration X stuff. Hit so hard, and we were so hot, and it was so much fun, and you could do no wrong. So it's everything that you say, you had to, everything that you did, people were just hanging on the edge of their seats to watch or to hear or to do anything like that. So yeah, when you come up with something in such a hot period of time and people hear that, it just, that's it. You're stuck with it whether you like it or not, because and nor would I want to get away from it, because that was a period when people were really into wrestling, and it's coming back slowly but surely. But it was just, that time, everybody was so on fire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just crazy. Just crazy.
Well, really fast, I have a theory on this. Okay. And I think it's more than a theory. I think it's based off of reality and facts. But during that Attitude Era, I really feel like that was when television was just crazy in general. I mean, we were starting to get the reality shows. People were really just like throwing some stuff out there to see what stuck, see what they could get away with. And this was beyond the wrestling world, but I think in all other worlds. I mean, there were reality shows trying to find the worst singer, you know, making people think they were actually the best singer. And then shows where people were getting makeovers with plastic surgery I think it was called like the Swan.
Yeah.
There were dating shows that were just like made no sense. I mean, it was everything was just like throw it out there, see what's
ever on a dating thing you've done. Like, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Everything was nuts. And I mean, there was way too much filtering right now. I don't even know if we could get back to that time. That's why it was so magical that, you know, I don't know if we could ever get back there. Honestly.
And I don't think so. For us, being that edgy and doing like what we did with the X's and all that, pointing where we pointed and all that stuff, is exactly what you said. It's just push until someone says stop, and then when they say stop, you just push more until you get a letter from the network or something that says, okay, this is it, and you go, okay, yeah, not really. because one, we were in a fight against WCW. They were trying to put us out of business. So when you have that kind of competition that driving you, like we all, like I don't know, all is the right word, but I know that most of us, we get to our best when we're pushed the hardest.
Yeah.
Or when somebody is driving us. For me, it's my kids thinking they're better than me, or because, and I just go, yeah, not yet, kid. Just hang on. I'm still there. I'm still there. It's not coming yet. But it's that, and it's just that edginess. You know what I mean? But nowadays, I think it's all about sponsors. It's all about who you can get on your show to sponsor your show or your commercial stuff. So you're going to have to back away from that. At that period, it didn't matter. We didn't care if we had a sponsor. We just wanted to beat this company. That's all. Like, I don't care if we don't ever get sponsored again. Like, I just want to beat them. And we did, right? But now then when you beat them and you kind of glide along, now it's about sponsors. Now it's about what commercial I can put on. Do I want my brand associated with them? And then and if you really look at it, you kind of see it, but then you go, yeah, but I really want that juicy stuff. I really want that juicy stuff. So but it's what it is.
Jerry Springer, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
It was everything goes back then. And we're just not in a anything goes period anymore. Like I said, I was thinking about this when I went to make the post on Instagram, like, oh my gosh, like your song is like so catchy, it's so cool, but I'm thinking, is someone gonna have a problem with this? I hate that.
Yes.
I hate that.
That's like, and that's everything. Like I'm not the best social media guy, because like most of my social media that's posted is when my kids are around me, because they take it out of my hands and look at it and then redo everything. First, they redo the spelling. Then they filter stuff and do all this. And I'm like, why is that a thing? Why can I not? And then it's the backlash that you get.
Yes.
Right? So we could probably have a whole nother show on social media and how that is, because I am just not I like to try to post stuff. Oh, there's my buddy. And I like to try to post stuff. And I understand that, social media gives people a platform to say what they want, but it's so not true. Because one, you're not allowed to talk about what my life is because you don't know it. You don't live with me. You don't hang out with me. You don't know how hard I work. You don't know all the people that I contact to stay in the shape that I am at 61 and to keep going, because I like what I do. So it gets like the negativity outweighs the positivity.
Yeah.
And I can't do it. I can't. One, I'm all over the place. So I just, like, you go, how do you reach through the phone and jerk them out and go, and then you just go, hey, just come hang out with me for the day, and I'll just bear you in your shoes that you bring to the game. So that's the one thing that's bad about that. And I don't.
Okay, you reward me. It's okay. Live TV.
I think my wife just got home, so that means that they all go. So, oh yeah, she did, because everybody's headed that
That's okay.
My wife's home.
Okay, I have to tell you something. I found something that I want to share, because you are somebody who, when you are confronted with these keyboard warriors who don't actually know how to operate in public, I have to say I saw an interaction that I thought it was brilliant. The way that you handled this was absolutely brilliant, and I want to share it with you, and then we'll talk about it. I don't know if you remember this, but
this is Jerichos Cruise.
Okay. These people are like flipping you guys off. Like, they don't think that they're just.
Okay. I don't know if I handled it all that well.
I think it was awesome. Are you kidding me? Billy, that was amazing. Are you kidding me? That was perfect. And
Jericho puts on a cruise every year.
Yeah.
So we went, and me and the boys happened to be bad guys at the time. It's very seldom that we're like that, but they're more towards the kids, because they, another thing we'll talk about, that they think that they've had everything handed to them because of me. Totally not true, because I'm not that guy. So it was just one of those things where he was a little too much. So I just stuck my head down there and I went, okay, well, he's going to do one of two things. And he did exactly what I thought he would do. Just sit there. And then all his buddies started laughing at him because he didn't do anything.
Well, hey, you know what? If you're gonna throw it out there, you got to be willing to take what's coming.
And the one thing I do have to say is just to kind of give him a little bit of freedom of what. So when you come to a wrestling event, normally, to be honest, I'm not like that. Yeah. So normally, when you come to a wrestling event, you're allowed to do whatever you want. You can either like the good guys and hate the bad guys, or like the bad guys and hate the good guys. So you have the freedom to do whatever you want, right? Yeah. Because that allows you, when you come to the shows, and sometimes, you have to understand that. And I do, believe me, I completely understand that. But it was just, we were all on a cruise, and everybody thought they were just going to do whatever they wanted. And he did get just a little bit over the top. So I just went and did that, and don't ever do that to anybody that's in the business. It's not.
Okay. Honestly, I was looking at some of the comments. I mean, everyone was positive towards you. I mean, the peanut gallery has spoken, and pretty much everybody thought you were amazing, because the thing is that we live in such a weird era right now, where it's like most people are able to say whatever the hell they want to say, and they're behind a screen, and they don't like actually confront. So I feel like it's a very odd social dynamic. People are not used to interacting with people right now. Everyone's like online. Everyone's doing social media. And so when they're in a situation like that, I feel like people operate like they're behind a screen still. Like they don't actually have the, back when I was in like high school and college, if you like operate like that, you're going to get punched out. Like you don't just like act like someone's in a bubble, or act like you're in this like protective layer around you. It's the weirdest, most bizarre thing. And you handled it so well, in my opinion. And the whole peanut gallery has spoken, and everybody's on your side. So yeah.
Okay.
You're like, okay, I'm here to tell you. You're like, woo. Okay, but do you really care though? I mean, you're pretty.
I do. In a way, I do, because I don't ever I kind of, what's the word? I kind of am proud of the way that I handle myself most of the times.
Yeah.
Like it honestly takes a lot to get me there, but I don't know. I do care. But at that moment, I did not care. So it's that fine balance of yeah, you can push and push, and most of the times it's okay to push and push me. But when it comes to the kids and that, or my wife, yeah, then you get zero.
Yeah,
There's zero line for margin there.
Yeah,
like, that's not a thing. And I have to realize that my kids are in the same business I am. So when things get to them, I've got to really be careful, because I can. Yeah, sometimes I can get a little much.
Well, I think that's awesome though. I mean, you have a lot of life experience. You have a lot of experience doing this. So you come with a different perspective now than you probably did, 15, 20 years ago, even after dealing with situations like this, probably many times. This can't be the only one that you've dealt with like this, but I'm sure that I can only imagine that they create more wisdom channels for you, right?
And they do, and you learn and live in this. Obviously, I was still past my prime. No,
funny.
Well, back in the day, it was a little different. You get whacked for sure for that. And there's been a couple instances where people try coming over the rail, and that never works out for them. That's never. That's a rule. If you're there on that side of the barricade, you can't nothing. You can verbally whatever, like I did there. But if they come over the railing,
that would be so stupid of them.
Trust me, we all pray for them to do that, because it is like everybody from referee to talent to cameramen. They just you get a shot from everybody. Because you can't do that. That's when we're protected the most. Because if you come over, all laws go out the window.
Yeah,
right? Well, that's the thing. Now, if we go over that way, then we're really in deep trouble. So
yeah, I get you. No, that makes sense. I would definitely pray for the soul who would dare to do that. Why in the world has that happened?
Oh yeah, it's happened a few times. Yeah. Yeah.
What the hell is why would anyone? That is nuts.
It's called alcohol.
Alcohol, yeah. I know. I was going to say they've got to be on something.
That's usually the main culprit is alcohol. So
I'm like high or drunk, one of the two, because that does not make sense for a normal functioning.
So when you're with your buddy and you go, "Hey, watch this. Watch how cool this is," and they jump over and absolutely get plastered. Yeah.
What are those neck moves? What is that called?
The what?
What are those neck moves where you just jump your legs around their neck and just pull them down? What the heck? Sorry, I'm sorry. I told you I'm not. This is
called the Famous Orer, the one that I do, where I drop my leg on the back of their head. It's called the Famous Orer. We all name them because it's cooler to name your movie.
Who came up with that one?
So, very good. Good question here. So Marty Jannetty, who used to be the Rockers with Shawn Michaels, used to do a different version of it. Used to grab their hands like this and put their leg over their head like this and just drop. And he called it the rocker dropper or something like that.
Yeah.
But I like to think of myself as super athletic. So I went, what if I did that? But so normally, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel, right? So everybody has a different version of everybody's finish anyway. Yeah. So I said, what if I did that? Because I used to be able to jump. I used to be able to sky. So I figured if I just kick them and bend them over a little bit, I'll just jump up and drop them through this kind of the same way, but it's mine. It's not, they never associate Marty's move with my move because it's just so different, but it is the same in generality.
Yeah.
I make up my own words, by the way.
I'm not either. It's okay. I'm not in this world, so I am good with any words that you want to use.
So that's how it came about.
I would imagine that it would require a lot of coordination because you are jumping, legs around the neck, and the person who you're doing that to, there has to be very much a coordinated effort there because you could snap someone's neck in half.
You can, and you have to be careful. That's hence why if I hit it on somebody, obviously I hope you know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't be in there.
Oh, right? Yeah, that's a good point.
That's if you don't know fully what you're doing, don't be at a level where there's professionals and we just and we take for like my move is really easy. It really is. All you do is when you feel my leg about to get you, you just go to your face and then I'll do the rest of it. And I never hardly ever secretly touch you. So it's about movement, right?
Yeah.
Most of what we do is about energy, and it's about movement, and it's about just catching people's eye in a certain way. Like it's just like a magic trick, right? You never see how the rabbit comes out of the hat, right? But you still go, oh, that's cool. So it's kind of the same thing. We're doing the same thing. All these moves and stuff that we do, you always want people to go, I think he's mad at him. He really hit him. Do you see that? Right. Yeah. But it's still in a working sense, because obviously we're not going to crush people and do all these if you don't know what you're doing. So you have to know what you're doing when you do all this. If you do not, you don't need to be where we're at. And if you're good enough, when you start or you're working with somebody that you don't know, you say, hey, what is your level? How many years you've been wrestling that?
Right.
So there's a lot of etiquette that goes to what we do, especially on the independent scene. Not so much when you get to like AEW or WWE or TNA or something. Now everybody that they hire is a professional. In a sense of in a professional, or still at least knows enough to get not hurt, but you're still going to get hurt anyway. I've been hurt so many times, and it wasn't even my fault. It's just you just have 260-pound guys landing on you and stuff. So eventually things give. The most or the next, just that snapping on the mat that everybody thinks is as easy as a trampoline. That is not. It's really kind of hard, and it hurts.
I can only imagine. I mean, even like I've seen when people do a backflip, and you have to know exactly where you're going to land from. You're facing your back to the person that you're doing it on. Jump off, backflip. I was a gymnast, so like I can appreciate this, but knowing exactly where you're going to land and coordinating that just right. I don't know. It just, to me, it just seems nuts. It's crazy.
It's not, but it's so I look at it this way.
I like how nonchalant you are about this. This is fascinating. Just the way you're just like, oh, no big deal. I'm like, okay.
I guess so. I've been doing this a long time, right?
Yeah.
And I teach it twice a week, and then help with another school during the week. So I get my fill of wrestling. Hence why I've dove into bodybuilding world so at first. But it's when you ask me about it, to me, it's easy because I've been doing it so long, and and it just happens, right? Yeah. So if you were to ask me to do what you do, then I would like start panicking, right? But you would act the exact same way I am, and you go, hey, you just got to diet, you got to train hard, you got to be committed, you got to consistency. And I go, oh, okay, you lost me on train hard.
So, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I have going to push back just a little bit. I sort of disagree. Only hear me out.
Okay.
When I was a gymnast, when I was a track athlete, I was a professional track athlete. I was a gymnast. I compete now. I've been competing in bodybuilding now for over 15 years. I still get nervous before I compete. And I used to get nervous every time right when I was like standing on the line to run my race, I would get nervous before I was going to do a gymnastics event. I mean, nerves hit you and it's real. And with what you do, it's really crazy to me that you said you don't get nervous or anything like you.
Okay. So that's, so I'm so very valid point what you just said. And I hear you. That's my new therapy. So.
I hear you. I was like, that sounds like a therapy word. Go on. It's like someone's been to therapy.
So I do the exact same thing. Before I go do what I do in front of people, or I'm about to go out and perform, I'm a wreck. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that that lets me know, okay, I still care. I'm still in this. So, but the minute I crack the curtain, it all goes away.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is, because I literally just had this conversation with a kid in Toronto where I was just doing a big Maple Leaf Pro show. He goes, like, I'm like so nervous before I go out there. I go, dude, that's a good thing. Trust me, because I do the exact. They go, you've been doing this so long and it's still there. I go, yes, because one, it means that I still care. And it still means that I want to do my best. It's not a nerve of I'm going to hurt somebody, or I'm going to get hurt, or things are going to go wrong. That's just not it. It's an excitement nerve. It's an energy kind of nervous. And I'm just chomping at the bit and all over the place. And then when they play my music and I walk out and I get to do my thing, it all just goes away because once I hear the people, then I'm okay.
That's so cool.
I talk not very, very not like when I talk about it because I'm not doing it. I'm not performing it, or it's not me going out there. Like it's either I get nervous before I go out, my kids, or anybody I've coached.
It's an interesting athlete phenomenon because that is the same. I actually do feel that like the same thing happens. Like when the gun goes off in track, boom, like nerves go. And I think I was listening to Will Smith was talking about this, and he was talking about like how him and his friends dared each other to meet the morning after they were all out partying to go skydiving. And he didn't think everybody was going to show up, but he showed up and he was thinking all night about it. He woke up thinking about it. He was nervous. He didn't want to go, but he assumed that nobody would show up and he'd be okay. Well, everybody showed up. So he's nervous. His blood is boiling. He just doesn't know. And he gets up all the way up. And right before he jumps out of the plane, he's just nervous, like all get out. And he jumps out the plane and boom, the nerves go away. And he goes, it's crazy because the moment of the highest level of risk is a moment of the least amount of nerves. And the moments of the least amount of risk is when we have the most nerves. And this is an interesting phenomenon across the board in sports in general, where you're like, when you have time to think about something, that's when you like everything sets in. But when you're out there, you're a gamer, you're right in front of the show, boom, you're performing. And that's when I think my theory is that's when you're in control of yourself. And that's why you're not nervous. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
And I think you're right, because I think once I get in there, I know that I can't stay in my head. I've got to kind of just relax and be present, just so in case something goes wrong, I can fix it on the fly. Like we were talking before, it's a live show. There ain't no do-overs, and you can't go time out. Everybody stop for a second. Let's get back on track. Yeah. So one aspect of our job is you have to at least have somebody in there that's capable of fixing something that goes wrong, right? So I feel that's what I do, because I'm very much a control freak when it comes to wrestling, because I've always been in tag. So I have 4 people I have to worry about. And if things go wrong, they just do. Yeah. Things don't always go like, hey, we can plan this out and it can go like this. And if it does, hey, great. If it doesn't, then we all can't panic, because everybody's going to panic. You need one person that doesn't. And that just always is me. Like, so you have somebody that keeps their head and can kind of just guide, traffic and get everything back on track, so that everybody in the audience doesn't go, uh-oh, they messed up. They'll never know that, because we're the only ones that knew where we were going. So as long as you don't stop and everybody goes, hey, I have no idea what's wrong, then the people don't know. So
designated driver right here. You're like, DD right here.
Yeah, so that's, so I've always like, that's just me. Yeah. So I'm kind of like, I'm nervous. I go out there, I hear the people. I'm good because the people are in it. Now I just relax and kind of just focus on where we're going and staying on track.
That is so cool. Yeah, I know. I think everyone who competes or does something where they're putting themselves out there can relate to that roller coaster of emotions that you go through, But the cream that rises to the top, I think, is aligned with the way that you're explaining things. Yes, you go through the nerves, but you're also a gamer, and that is the quintessential components to the cream that rises to the top in anything, right? I mean, because some people can't get through that even when they're, in the game, right?
Right.
Now we have a question here. Somebody wants to know. So young guys get burnt out with pro wrestling schedule. How do you keep it up? That's actually really
first of all, if you get burnt out on a wrestling schedule nowadays, you don't even start. Because the schedule, like, there's no way, there's no possible way. If you think that the schedules now are bad, just quit. That's what I want you to do. I want you to quit that. And I'm just saying that because our schedules now are not bad. Like, So our schedule.
Tell us the difference right now. Like, give us the difference.
Okay, so I'll tell you the difference. When I first started, I was on the road 300 days out of the year. Does anybody know how many days there are in a year?
Oh my gosh,
65. So how many days was I home? 65. So that, my friend, is a schedule. And I did that for almost 4 years. And then the business starts changing a little bit. Now you back off just a little bit, but you're still looking at, so that was like house shows and live events and TV's all wrapped. So, and you're just go, because they just figure, hey, we'll just run them until the wheels fall off. so, and yes, that's when you really learn how to wrestle, because when you're wrestling that much, all that flipping and diving and landing on your head stuff just isn't a thing, because you'll never last. And then our schedule slowed down just a bit. So you're looking at maybe 3/4 of that, because then you would do like maybe a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday TV, Tuesday if you had to tape, and then you're home a couple of days. So the schedule slowed down a little bit. Our schedule now is so easy. Like, wow. I can't even believe I get paid to do it, because it's only on Wednesdays. Our live TV show for us, AEW, is Wednesday night. So everybody that wrestles Wednesday night. And you go to Collision, which is on Saturday night. So you wrestle Wednesday and Saturday. That's 2 days a week.
Wow.
And so I do appearances and signings and Comic-Cons and those kinds of things, and go do indie stuff, because I still love what I do. So I love doing this stuff. Plus, I might as well, being as I can still do it, I still go out and do it. I'm not lazy when it comes to that. Is you just do that stuff on the weekend, like maybe a Saturday or a Sunday.
Wow.
So for me, it might, like, at the most, I work 3 days a week. Come on.
Do you think, I'm wondering, is that because there are just so many things, like there's so many different shows. There's such a competition for stealing people's eyes and ears and platforms. Between people watching YouTube and, anything that they want on TV at any given time, it's so much different now. Like back then it was cable TV had kind of sort of just taken off, like early 2000s. And there weren't so many options for people to watch. So the things that people liked, you had to give the fans a lot of it. And now it's so hard just to compete for people's eyes and ears anymore. Do you think that's what it is?
I think that and cost. And cost of moving trucks. You know what I mean? So we just don't do live events and stuff and all those things we used to do back then, because of kind of probably what you're talking about. Like, we can make money if we run every night, because nobody has anything to do. They're all sitting there, either arguing with their wife or yelling at their kids. No, I'd rather go watch wrestling. So, and plus, I think it was a lot cheaper back in the day to run like a high school gymnasium. You could just pull a truck in there and you're out. But nowadays, it's such a production that I think trying to, even though on house shows and live events, you kind of scale back the screens and the stages, but you still have to have that spectacle, because that's what I pay for. So I want to see at least some of it. So back then, it was easy just to call a truck in there. You set a ring up, you have a show, you put it back in the truck, you go to the next town. Everybody's just off.
Yeah.
Now it's so expensive just to do TV. I think it's mostly in TV. I don't think, because of what you were talking about, I don't think people really go out and want to go, hey, I'm going to go to this live wrestling event, unless it's in, podunk somewhere where they don't get anything. Then you run an indie show. You can't run a big TV show, because you can't, people aren't going to travel all the way in there. So I think I honestly think a majority of it is just financial, because it does cost a lot to move those trucks and put that stuff up.
Totally. There is something very interesting that I found, that where wrestling has transcended current modern technology in a way that, let me tell you something. When I found this, I thought that it was actually you because it was so realistic. And I was tripping out because I discovered, I think you know what I'm talking about. This is nuts. I thought this was real. Okay, so we're gonna watch this. Okay, I'm like, oh wow, he's wearing something a little bit different. Okay, he looks a little bit, maybe not. His hair a little bit different. Okay, I still was like thinking this was a real instance. And all of a sudden I'm like, this is a video game. What the heck? Oh my gosh. We have the mannerisms and everything.
Yeah. This is what people do now. They sit at home and recreate stuff on gaming platforms that they have, like, because these, like the games now, because we just came out in the new whatever, the 2025K. I don't know. I don't even know what they are. But I saw somebody had sent that, and I went, oh my, it's insane. But the problem is that's what they do. Like nobody goes outside and plays in the dirt anymore. They stay inside, and it's all these gaming things. They talk to people around the world and play games and sit in front of a TV and the entire time. And it's just, oh.
Do you get a cut from that? Do you get a cut? Like they're using
a cut from the games and all that stuff, because I actually have a contract with them.
That's what I was wondering.
AEW. Yeah. I have a Legends deal. Like they release action figures of me. They just released a new one at WrestleMania.
That's so badass.
It is.
That's so
freaking cool. Let me tell you a story about my first ever action figure that's actually kind of funny.
I do.
So the kids are little, right? I think Austin was 3 and Colten was 5. So they're a little over 2 years apart. So they were into the action figures because dad's on TVs, wrestling and stuff. And I'm getting my first action figure. And the kids go, oh, this is awesome. So they make my first action figure is my favorite of all time. It's so basic and it's the one with the cowboy hat. It's in a little package. I forget what it is, but look it up real quick. I love it because obviously because it's my first one. So anyway, I said they came out action figures, not knowing that they didn't know I was talking about me. And they said, hey, can you get us some? I said, sure. So I didn't know how to go about it. So I called the company. It is none of those.
Okay. There's a lot of you.
There is a lot of it. There is a
wow. Yeah. Okay. So is it this? Wait, that's a
none of those.
Paper doll. You have a paper doll. That's kind of interesting. Kind of cool. Let's see.
It's a smoking guns. I'm in a hat.
Let's see. Smoking gun and a hat. Jeez.
So it's this one right here. See the one by itself go from the second row down in.
Right here?
It's that one right there. But it should be in a package. That's my very first one. And
oh my God.
I love it. And it's actually, if you try to get it on eBay, it's kind of expensive, which is even cooler.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I love it. So my kids go, hey, can you get, so I call the company and they send it to, so they send this box full of figures. I go, boys, it's here. And they're all excited. They go start ripping the box open, and they take the action figures and just start throwing them out. And I'm like waiting, and they're getting more depressed and more depressed.
Yeah.
And I go, well, what's wrong? And they go, Dad, they're all of you.
Oh my God.
I said, yeah, your dad's an action figure. They go, yeah, but we wanted everybody else.
Oh, because they get to see you every day. You're a real live action figure.
That one right there.
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
It's in the box.
But we had to see it with the package. That makes it. This is awesome. Oh yeah, that's
I don't know what it is. It's very basic and plain, but it is awesome because it's my very first one and it's amazing. Like there's
so cool.
So many figures.
It looks nothing like you, but it's cool.
Well, the picture does. That's me when I was just a youngster.
Yeah. But your physique looks better than this. That's what
Yeah. Well, back then, making action figures were just kind of like, I think, like this molded against. Like
so
now,
cool.
like when they redid the action figures, we got in this like mobile scan, and you sit there and it scans everything, all your tattoos, all your everything on you. Like it was crazy. It was like they've come miles. It's insane.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
No. Well, and then the video game was, I mean, how crazy is it that it was so realistic that I literally thought it was actually, because I was looking for your entrance, like I was looking for some of your entrances, and I found that one. I'm like, oh, cool. Like this one is awesome. And for the first literally like 10 seconds, I still thought, I'm like, his shorts are not, he's not wearing his signature shorts. I wonder why. And I keep watching it. And then as soon as you turn around, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the video game.
Yeah.
It took me a while. It was too realistic.
Because if you're not like there was a few of them that I'm not on the video games, but you can create your own. So they just sit in there and create their favorite wrestling characters or somebody that's not in it. And it's so crazy. It's insane. Yeah.
Anyway, the whole thing with the action figures, the video games. You have been immortalized, which I mean, I don't know if it's hit you. It's pretty cool.
You know what? You know what's funny is I don't think of it as like I'll give you an example. So my Ace Hardware, I live in a little town in Georgia. So I have like, it's this small. We have an Ace Hardware. so I go in there and the ladies at the front desk like think I'm famous. Like they always go, oh,
you are.
I'm not famous. I'm not famous at all. So they go, oh, it's the famous guy. And I go, ladies, I am not famous. I don't think of myself as famous like that. Yeah. I don't think of myself in that kind of era. I think this is it. I just happened to be lucky. I was lucky. I was in the right place at the right time. I got hired by a company. I happened to be kind of good at it. I've had an awesome career. Now I have 2 kids that do it. So I'm just fortunate in everything that I do. And I don't feel like I don't take it for granted, or I don't like, to me, famous is Johnny Depp. Like even me, if I saw him, I'd literally faint, right? That's my guy. So but famous, to me, famous is I guess different. I just think of myself as a guy that's lucky that I've luckily had a job that I could keep for 30 something years, and I've been able to coach, and I can do things like that and pass on whatever, like I don't know it all, but I can help you if you're willing to listen. I think we had this conversation about knowledge of certain people, and like, if you just listen or let me help you in some way, yes, you're not me, but I will tell you my experiences that will help you become a better performer, better wrestler, make people want to pay to see you so you make more money. Like that's my job. I'm there to help you and make money for you. But if you don't come to me, don't expect me just to give it to you. I'm not just going to walk up and go, hey, do you want me to tell you the secret? Like that's not a thing. You have to want it. And I don't need you just to kind of go, hey, you're here. Hey, you want to tell me something about it? And then you get absolutely lashed because I'm not a petter. I'm not from this era. So I'm not going to pet you and tell you everything that you did good and make you like that. Does nothing for your development. If I sit there and just say, oh God, that was great, and it was the absolute drizzling that, then it does you no good, and I'm not helping you, and I'm not doing my job. But I will tell you everything that went wrong and everything that you should try to fix. And I'll try to be as nice about it as I can.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Hang on, let's talk about that, because first of all, that's very humble of you to explain why you don't think you're famous. But I'm here to tell you you're mistaken. Yes, you are. Okay, first of all. And it's okay for you to say what you're saying because that makes sense. I mean, you are a chosen one, and you have continued to help others. I mean, you've been on shows. You were a trainer on NXT, Tough Enough. I have this clip of you giving it to your people.
I was wondering if you were going to pull out the old easy play.
Now comes into play. It's not a cakewalk anymore, people. We've been doing this for 6 weeks.
You are tough on them.
So now, on top of teaching you, everybody's teaching you. So now they've all got to drag you along. I don't understand that part. I don't understand it. You're gonna get blown up. I told you from week 1, do your cardio. The first time I woke y'all up, run down to the road and back. Every single day, 100 times a day.
Woo!
Oh yeah, man. That was a good one. That was one of my go viral videos.
Yeah, I know. Wasn't hard to find.
It's I get it. It's a TV show, but you don't get to be like, you're still doing something that I hold very dear to me and it's done me very well. So when you come in here and think it's funny and you don't do what I tell you, not in a sense of you don't do what I tell you, but you don't make an effort, like, because what we do in spurts. So it's not, there's no cardio on planet Earth that you can do that can prepare you for this, except in ring training. Because one, it's the nerves, it's your energy that you have to have when you do stuff, and it's spurty. It's very spurty, like this. So it's just different. It's not a steady state. You don't just get to sit there and go. So it's very hard on you. So you have to kind of get in the groove a little bit. We all still get blown up. It's just a thing. There's 20,000 people in there and you're doing your best and you have energy out the gazing and you just go. But it's managing that, and it's being a little bit more prepared so you're not blown up within the 1 minute. You're blown up when you're 10 minutes in. And they just weren't getting it. And so I just blew them so high.
I have a question. No, it's good. I mean, here's the thing. This is how people, you have to weed them out too, because, okay, this is my question to you. I feel like, and this is just observational analysis, okay, professional wrestling is very glamorized, right? I mean, when you entered, I mean, people see your phenomenal physique and like the energy that the crowd is giving you. And there's a piece of glamour to that people want that part of it. Same thing with bodybuilding. People see that the day of stage, they don't see the blood, sweat, and tears that I put in going into that, where I was killing myself and hurting myself and in pain and agony to get to that moment. They see that and they want that, right? They want that moment.
Yes.
And I feel like, and same with females, the beautiful professional wrestling divas, I guess, they call them. And it's like women want to look like that and they want to be like that. I would imagine that you get a number of people that they come to you initially with that in their mind, and they don't really necessarily wrap two and two together and imagine how much work would have to go into getting that glamorized moment, right?
Exactly. You are exactly right. That I can't tell you how many people, when I was at NXT in the Performance Center, when we used to do tryouts. So we would do tryouts and we would invite, like, say 30 people, 20 or 10 girls and 20 guys. And they would go through this and they would get, and we put them through the ringer a little bit, because people's perception of wrestling is what I watch on Netflix or what I watch on TNT. Like, oh my gosh, that would be so much fun. Let me do it. Okay.
Okay, step right up.
When it gets down to it, that's all they see. That's exactly what you're talking about. That's what they see. Then if they see the people the girls, the guys on stage, all that muscle ripped to shreds. Yeah, I didn't just wave a magic wand and that happens, right? And I can appreciate both sides of this because I've done that twice and it was absolutely horrendous. Right? But on the same end, it's the same thing. I'm sitting on the couch. My life is going nowhere. I watch wrestling on TV and go, that's what I want to be. Okay, good luck with that.
Well, it has to start with that.
So I go to a wrestling school and I want to be John Cena or I want to be The Rock. And now you go, okay, good luck. because you have no idea what kind of work you're about to put in. And I can tell right now, you do not want to put that work in, because the minute I pick you up and throw you down and you go, oh, you go, okay, I'll see you later.
You just gave them chills.
That's a thing. They think that's a thing. They think, oh, I'm going to join a school and I'm going to go through the school, whether it be 8 weeks or 12 weeks, and I'm going straight to TV.
Yeah.
That's not even close to how that goes. You are putting the work in. You are going to beat yourself to death. You're going to have no personal life. If you want this to work, you're not going to have a personal life. You're not going to have a family life. You're not going to have anything except eat, sleep, wrestling until you. And if you're lucky, there's not that many people that actually make it.
No, right? not even like I've interviewed extremely elite professional MMA superstars, Cain Velasquez, Daniel Cormier, these guys who they had the dream of being a wrestling star. And it's not the same thing. It doesn't translate, even if you're a total badass in MMA. And people think of professional wrestling as, oh, that's not real fighting, that's fake. Well, take a real fighter and have them translate that to wrestling. And it is not what people think it is. I mean, it seems almost, I would say it's like being a magician, like you said, harder, because coordinating the moves, making sure that nobody does really get hurt, that seems to me harder than actually just whatever, like get them hurt.
Well, it's making it look real without it being real. So how many people can actually do how many? So yeah, could you do all the moves? Sure, I can teach anybody to do moves, right? But that's going to get you nowhere. It's just going to be, you're just going to do moves, right? So I have to find a way with my wrestling is to find something that attracts, because wrestling is very emotional. People don't ever want to hear that. They go, how is wrestling emotion? Okay, so when you watch something that you're really, so if you watch a movie, what's the first part of the movie is all character development. So you can figure out who's who and who you root for, or who's going to be the bad guy, or who you can get involved with. And it's all emotion. Mm-hmm. It's all emotion. Yeah. So if you can't find a reason, so I can't get you to be a fan if I can't figure out a way to connect with you. I have to connect with people in some form or fashion. Some of us, like my son, Austin, or Road Dogg, they just have this thing when you walk in a place, people instantly just want to hang out with them. They just want to know them. Some people have that. A bazillion people do not have that. And most of the people that don't have it are in the wrestling business. So, but they were very lucky to have that one thing. That's the it, is to find that thing that attracts people to. It took me a lot longer because I'm not like, what's the word? I'm trying to figure it out. I'm not like, my presence is very big.
Yeah.
Like, I do say that. My presence, the way I carry myself is very big. So I'm very standoffish to people. When in fact, I'm super nice. I just have that thing about me. So it took me a little longer to it wasn't figuring out the wrestling. It was figuring out, how do I connect with people so they'll connect with me, so they'll enjoy or be involved in the wrestling part that I do. And emotion is all about storylines. And if they're into what you do, if somebody does something bad to you, you have to make them want to feel what you're feeling.
Oh gosh, I can relate to this so much.
This is you. It's a gold mine.
Oh yeah. No, you're speaking to me right now, because I also, what I do is, when I speak in front of a group of people, or, you do presentation, I'm traveling, or I'm hosting, or I'm doing live events. It's like the biggest part of being successful at that is what you're saying, is having a really high level of social intelligence. When you're able to truly read a room and use that to fuel like your energy, you're matching energies, right? And when you're good at that, that's where the magic is, right? We talked about this too, like same thing, like when you're being interviewed, you've had so many interviews. If somebody comes to you with like a list of questions that they want to ask you, and they are so hell-bent on just going through this like list of questions, well, you might miss a story that you're telling or that's happening, because people are so structured and so, not reading the energy or fueling off of the energy. But when you have that level of social intelligence and you're feeding off of it, I truly believe, and this is why you're speaking to me, that's where the magic happens.
100%,
Absolutely.
100%. Because my energy, when I talk about wrestling, I am so into it. Like when I try to teach my kids and my class and stuff, when I go off what we're learning and then start trying to teach them when I talk, I literally blow myself sky high. I am so out of it because I am so in it and so, but it's the same thing with coaching or doing anything else. I have to have a connection with you instead of you just listening to the words coming out of my mouth going, just because there's nothing about you that it's like reading a list.
Yeah.
Are you a wrestler? What's your favorite match? How long have you been wrestling? You literally sit here and go, my wife just entered the room. Hello, darling.
Hey. How are you?
Get in the video.
Come on in. We're wrapping it up anyway. Hello. How are you?
I was watching from downstairs and I'm like, why is he looking that way? Now I see why, because he's got the camera.
Oh. Hey, it's all good.
Yeah, see, that's what she just set it up over the phone with me. And then I was hoping I had it right. And I just don't. It's not.
I was hoping I would get to meet you.
Yeah,
now we have
my lovely wife and keeps all of it. She's the one that keeps us all in line. That one.
Good. Because of you, we were able to make this happen. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
But so now before you start coaching or doing things of that nature where you need to get people listen, you have to lighten them up and get them to trust you in some form. Just because I've been doing this for 30 years and you have a kid that wants to learn it doesn't mean that they're going to connect with what you're hearing. We do it all the time. It's funny because I've taught my kids from day one. I taught them up until I knew they were good to go. Then I let them go somewhere else. Then I let them kind of get out on their own, do whatever they need to do. So, but I'll hear somebody tell them the exact same thing that I just told them, and they go, "That's awesome. I wish her dad would have said that." That just shows you how they hear different things.
Oh yeah.
The same thing, but they just hear it different because they're more in tune. So, okay, now it's just dad and he's taught us where we go. So now when dad talks, it's kind of, but when somebody else that they've seen or they admire and they know everybody, when they talk, it's like this, like they're hanging on everything. So.
So I have another question for you. Okay. I hate this. I hate that we're coming to a close. I hope, so first of all, number one, I would love to have you back. Okay.
Anytime, you know that.
I would love that. And number two, I would love to have you back with your sons, because I think that what would be really awesome is to talk to you and Austin.
My wife is laughing because she knows how that's going to turn out, because we are a struggle to talk. Because he says, so Austin is exactly like I am. He's all over the place, super energy. Colten is very low key. And he'll just sit here, and me and him will struggle back and forth to just get all just answer everything.
That's okay.
But I will do whatever.
I'll prompt him, because you know what? I think that what you're along the lines of what you're talking about. I think that what would be really fun for everyone to hear about is you being the wrestling star that you were and are, and then passing that on to your sons. And I know there's a whole story behind that. I know that you wanted them to get an education first, to have something to fall back on. I know that you made them work hard to get to where they are. There's a story there. And I think it'd be really fun for us to actually dedicate a whole show to talk about that dynamic, because that's really fascinating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they are awesome. They really are. They're so good. And all three of us together are a whole nother level of hang on. Yeah.
The Gun Club. You guys are the Gun Club.
That's Colten. He's
pretty cool.
And that's my Wild West kid right there.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so this is the intriguing thing to me, because when I watch them perform, I do not see two boys who had it easy. I see two guys who worked really hard to get to this level, because you don't get to that level without working your butts off. I mean, you cannot have someone hand that to you. That is something that is absolutely earned, and there's no way around it. I mean, you know what I mean?
I'm not that dad. And I'm not, you know, of course I would help them in any way that they want, but to do this and to do this at the level that they want to do that, you can't handle
it's a high level,
because then they don't appreciate what the work that they put in. Those kids work. So I can't, like, half the time people just go, there's no way. I said, oh, I trust you. They've worked harder than anybody you will ever see in your life. So yeah.
Well, it's awesome. To me it shows. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So can you believe it? You believe we've been talking for over an hour? This is crazy. I feel like we could talk forever, but I do want you to have the final word, to say anything that you want to your fans and everyone who loves you and follows you, up and coming generation. Go ahead. You have the final word.
Oh, you put me on the spot.
Of course.
To buy me a WOLFpak bag because I go through them like crazy. How about that? No,
yes, of course.
You know, it's somebody asked me this the other day, and they said, "Well, how would you want people to remember you?" I don't want them to remember all the glitz. I just want them to remember that when they came to a show or they did something where I was at, that I was always, other than a cruise, obviously, and I was a nice guy. I just did my job. That's it. I just did my job. I love what I do. I'm going to be really obnoxious right now. I'm really good at it. Like, I'm good at my job.
You are.
I'm good at helping other people do their stuff. And if you get a chance to see me, because I don't know how much longer I'll be doing this, but my kids say until I'm 90, because I just, you know, yeah, I'm 61. If you saw me move in the gym and everywhere else, you would go, yeah, that's not a chance. But it's just a passion, and it's just a different mindset of what I do. You know, if you really, really enjoy something, you want to do it until you're not on this planet anymore. And I would love to do this until then. And I will in some form or fashion. Getting in the ring, I'm kind of getting close to the end of that, because it is still, even though I don't really do that much, it is a little rough on me, but I will always coach and produce or just do those kinds of things. And I just love it. It's just awesome. So
that's awesome. No, I think you're going to be, you still are going strong, and that's very evident in your current performances. The fans love you, and everybody just doesn't want you to go anywhere. So stay with it for as long as you possibly can. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to try, boy.
And on that note, thank you so much. Don't go anywhere. I want to say goodbye to you on the flip side. But to everyone who's watching, thank you all for tuning in. This is going to stay up on our YouTube channel, so you can go back and you can watch it. And we are just so happy to have you here. And until next time, we will see you on the flip side.